Hey everyone, and welcome back to Founders Outlook, the show where entrepreneurial dreams meet reality. I'm Julia Tochu, and today we are getting inside scoop on another incredible founder's journey. Whether you're building your own business, thinking about starting one, or just love hearing how great ideas come to life, you're in the right place. Let's jump in and see businesses through a founder's eyes.
So, my name is Jean Bruce Kwa. I also go by JB. My organization is called Elevhomes, also going by Elev, and I am the co-founder and COO of the company, so Chief Operating Officer. Essentially, think of it as operations and finance, everything that to do with numbers and like the operation of the business, and pretty much like everything else that is required to be that is needed for the company is sort of like what I work on, me and my other co-founders as well. Um, how long has Elev Homes been serving students and hosts in Edmonton? Well, that's a very good question. So, Elev has pretty much started out of university. It was sort of like a project that me and my friends that are now co-founders started out of a personal experience that we all went through. Myself, I came here as international students. I went through all the struggles of looking for housing. Couldn't necessarily afford to live on campus. I have to find a place to stay off campus. And through that experience, I figured there had to be a better way for students that are looking for housing to find housing, but also to learn more what comes after finding the housing. And so that project sort of like spearheaded back in 2020. But again, it was a project that we did on the side, didn't really think much of it until we sort of like launched a beta version to see if there was even interest in it in the following summer, so summer of 2021. And we saw that there was some interest, some students were like actively reaching out and like looking for the help that we're providing, as well as the landlords, that were seeing some value in what we're doing. So we figured, hey, what if we actually, focused a little bit more on this and like made it something that was more helpful, so something that was actually more like real, if I can say. And so we, put in whatever, little monies that we had, a little team, and, went out and then started working on the project since then. And I guess it was in the following summer, so summer 2022, that we sort of like launched a public version to again test out what works, what doesn't work, but then see where the interest is at. And since then, we've been working with students and landlords here in Edmonton, helping the students find housing off campus and also helping the landlords, which we call our hosts, find tenants for their properties. Describe your platform and services. What makes Elev unique in the student housing market, not just in Edmonton, but across Canada? So, Elev, one thing that we really pride ourselves on is the ability of taking the holistic approach when it comes to helping students find housing off campus, but also not just like both the students find housing off campus and the landlords that are looking to find tenants. Because when it comes to the student housing market, one thing that's really important to understand is that as a student, housing is not just finding a place, it's everything around it. So whether it be the neighborhood that you're going to be living in, the roommates that you'll be staying with, the landlord that you'll be interacting with, the lease that you'll be signing, or the rent that you'll be paying, there are many moving pieces that are really important, and that's something that we are encompassing on our platform. So on Elev, one thing that you can do is search for housing based on the different filters that we have that have been sort of like curated based on conversations that we had with students. You can browse the different options, book a viewing, submit an application, or even inquire about the property. And one thing that we do to take it to the next level is that students are also able to, submit an application for the property. And once things move forward, they can also sign the lease. And before even signing the lease, understand what is written in that lease in plain language, so that they know what they get themselves into. And then once the lease is signed, they can also, pay the rent to the platform, communicate with the landlords, communicate with the roommates, all through the platform. So essentially, everything that has to do with renting and with like living off campus has been brought into the app for the students. And yeah, what really makes us unique, like I was saying earlier, is the fact that we don't just stop at finding housing, but we go beyond that and helping both the students and the landlord as well, being able to understand all the different moving pieces so that they're all at peace when it comes to renting off campus, whether it be as a student or as a landlord when it comes to finding the right tenant for the property. Um, why should students and property hosts choose Elev? Well, as a student, one thing that we're really focusing on is the community that is beyond just finding a place to stay. Now, what I mean by the community is being able to understand what goes into finding a place to stay, but also being able to know that there's always resources and resources that are easily available in case of need. So, as a student myself, when I was looking for a place to stay, I didn't necessarily understand all the different things that came with housing. So essentially, like being first time signing a lease, or whether it be like paying the rent, I'm understanding that you cannot be late on the rent payment because it actually does more harm than you actually think. Similarly, as well on the landlord side, being able to understand what it's like renting out to students, because many landlords have experience renting out in general, but renting out to students is a different ball game. Now, it's not a challenging ball game or an impossible ball game. It's just a matter of understanding who it is that you're dealing with, and understanding that students operate in a different manner, which is very, very beneficial, if you ask my opinion. But essentially being able to like encompass that both into the platform. So on the student side, community driven, one thing that we're really, really focusing on is helping students connect with not just with their landlords and their roommates, but also other students that are living off campus. Because another reason why many students choose to stay on campus is that it's easier to make friends, especially when it's your first year. I'm speaking from experience because I didn't get a chance to like live on campus, so it took me some time to make some new friends, meet some new people. But eventually, I eventually was able to like meet some new people, and I figured, there has to be a better way for the next generation to go and make those connections. So, community, very very community driven on the student side, and also as well like opportunities that are beneficial to students is something that we are really also honing through the platform. On the whole side, one thing that we are really actually two things that we are focusing on a lot that would be a reason for hosts to choose us is one, the peace of mind when it comes to renting out to students. There's a lot of stigma out there when it comes to renting out to students that they could be rowdy, they're not necessarily the most serious ones, or they may not even be able to afford the rent. And that's mainly because of the way the current system is set up when it comes to like screening tenant, especially when it comes to students. Because as a student, you may not have, the rental history, you may not have the credits history, or even like pay stubs to show that you can afford rent. But you have a savings account that you have that's essentially like being used to like help you pay for the rent. You could also have student loans, or you can have a guarantor, right? And so what we do on the Lev is we actually highlight those as non-traditional methods to show that the students stand out and are actually good tenants for the property. And when it comes to that peace of mind, one thing that as a landlord, and I guess as a student, that's really important to understand is that students just need a place to sleep. That's all they need. Most of the time, they're either on campus or in the library or at a part-time job or at a friend's house, but they're pretty much like barely spending time at home. And they're also on time when it comes to making the payments, which is the second thing that we are honing on as well for the hosts, which is guaranteeing them that the rent will be paid on time every month, no questions asked. All they need to worry about is making sure that if there is a maintenance request that comes in, it gets addressed. But we deal with the students, we deal with the tenants to essentially help them have a good experience while staying at the property and ensuring that at the end of the month, the rent is paid for the guaranteed income, but also that the property is well maintained while they're staying at the property. What's the best way for people to get involved with Elev, whether they're students looking for housing, homeowners wanting to become hosts, or supporters who want to help solve the student housing crisis? Well, the best way to get involved with Elev, well, one, visibility. Today, I am here on Founders Outlook. That's giving me the opportunity to, spread the word about Elev and like get the word out to let people know about the things that we're working on, whether it be for the students or for the landlord. And so just giving us more platform to essentially share the work that we're doing, that can be done through social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, or whichever network you have as a student. If there is anyone that knows any students that's looking for housing or any students that's just want to connect with other students as well, please definitely reach out to us, connect with us. We have We can either connect with us through our platform on elevhomes.ca or on social media at Elevhomes for Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and Elev on LinkedIn. As a homeowner as well, definitely connect with us on our platform, elevhomes.ca, or if you want to go straight to the host platform, elevhomes.ca/host. And you can learn more about how you can, help other students find a place to stay and have a place to stay while they're completing their degree. And as a supporter, again, please share the resource with other students, other people in your network, other landlords of properties, because the mission really is to solve the student housing crisis. And we can't do it alone. We definitely need the support from the community. And so if you're able to share the word, that would be greatly, really appreciated. And last question. What is your advice for student entrepreneurs or young people who see a problem in the community and want to start a business or social enterprise but are scared to take the leap? That's a good question. To be honest, my advice, one, is just to go for it. And as you go for it, before you even get started, ask yourself, or at least put on a piece of paper, what is the worst thing that could happen? Is it that you might get a no? Or is it that you might not get the answer that you're looking for? Or is it that things may not work out? Trust me, you wouldn't know whether it's worth it or not until you try it. And one thing that you really want to avoid is living your life and getting to at least like the end or whatever stage that you are in your life and just regretting that you actually never took that risk. What if I had started that business, or what if I had started the social enterprise that was actually going to make a difference in my community? And so my advice, go for it, give it a shot. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, it's a lesson for you to keep going and keep trying until you hit that objective that you're looking to do, or that solution that you're looking to provide for your community.
You're so passionate. It was so long. Oh my God. What will I ask you now? You've already asked. Oh, wow.
These are really good questions.
I think I sent it to you. Yeah, he literally finished everything. So what will I ask?
Oh no, don't worry. I have more. I definitely have more. But these are really good questions. So I just had to really think and give it out. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
all right, let's start the interview from. All right, so can you give us just a brief, history or on how you guys are three, right? Mm-hmm. So you have Kevin. And then Kwesi. Yeah. How did you guys meet and decide to do this? And who discovered the problem first and kind of initiated the conversation?
Yeah, no, that's a very good question. I think it's not necessarily who started it first. It was more of all of us went through similar experiences. Mm-hmm. I came here as international students. I went through the struggles of looking for housing. I didn't really know what it was like, finding housing and even living on my own, because it was my first time moving away from my family. It was my first time living alone. It was my first time in Canada. And so I didn't really have all this experience. Same thing as well for my two other co-founders. One of them was local, was moving from a different province to come here. Another one was also international. So we all had all these different challenges that we faced. It was actually funny. It's actually a mutual friend that connected us. Okay. In the sense that one person had this idea on the side, another one had the idea on the side, and another one had an idea on the side. And then in the conversation, he was like, "Oh, well, I actually know someone that's working on a project that's about this."
Are you serious?
And so, yeah, exactly.
Wow. Yeah. That's how you connected.
And that's how we connected. And then since then, at first, I wasn't really sure I wanted to do this because, when I came, the focus was school, and school. And like entrepreneurship was like something that wasn't something that was new. That was like easy
on top of mind.
On top of mind, exactly. Yeah. And so it was like school, and then I get a job.
Yeah.
And so when I came, at first I was like, tiptoeing.
And get your PR.
Exactly.
Get a job or get your PR.
PR, exactly.
Nice.
And then eventually we all brought our brains together, and then, now we're
So when did you guys officially launch for the first time?
Yeah, so it's funny. The very first launch that we did, it was in the summer of 2020.
Okay.
Yeah, summer of 2020, summer of 2021. The reason why I'm not too sure exactly on the date is because, again, it was a project. It was like a project that we had few university students that, like we don't really know much about entrepreneurship.
Yep.
And so we're like, you know what? Like, this is the vision that we have. This is what we want to do. But we actually need to get it out in front of people to test. Okay. And so it was just a few of us, so the three of us. And then we also had like other friends. And that was also part of the volunteering and supporting, which was awesome as we're getting started. So like we were able to get some support with marketing, some support with like the tech side of things, some support with even like the financial side of things. And when we launched, it was very, very funny. It's so story. When we launched for the very first time, for the pilots that we did in the summer of 2020. Yeah, summer 2020 of 2020. When we launched, I remember whatever little monies that we had from our part-time jobs and savings, we put it into like marketing, to get the word out to everyone. And when we launched it, funny enough, we had a total of 20 downloads. Of those 20 downloads, 12 were our friends, and the remaining 8 were friends of our friends.
Oh, I see.
And so, and so there was some very, very low numbers in the early days, but like it was interesting because one thing that we learned through that launch is that we actually hadn't spent enough time talking to our customers. So talking to our students and also talking to our landlords. Because we first had like the customer, like the customer discovery interviews, like in the very beginning when we started, like early January. And then that's it. And so we just went back. We're like, okay, let's build a full solution. We have everything we need. We don't even need to talk to our customers until the product is ready, which is a big mistake that we did.
So was this before the Edmonton Unlimited Student Founders Program and the Propel Accelerator?
Yes, that was before that.
Oh, that was before that.
Yeah, that was before
okay.
that. Yeah. So we did that. We launched it. That's when we learned like, oh, wait, actually, this is not the best way to go. Okay. And then from there, we like reached out to like a network to see, okay, we need some support here and there. And then we went through the different programs that helped us,
So what's the most valuable lesson you got out of the programs?
Oh, yeah, talk to your customers. Okay. I think talk to your customers and include them at if you can include them at every stage of the process, please do. Otherwise, every major stage. Because you can have the greatest idea, you can have the greatest product that you think is the best, but until someone actually pulls out the wallet and be like, okay, you know what? I want to spend money on this, it's a waste of time.
So you have investors now?
Well, here and there,
And I read that your annualized booking value has increased more than 20 times. So you mentioned the first download was 20.
Yeah.
Like, how was the number now? Do you know?
Right now we have over 3,000 users on the
great.
platform. Yeah, and that's here in Edmonton.
So how do you make your money? Is it from the students or from the landlords?
It's actually from both. So how we make the money is all integrated into the price, into the rent that the student will see on the platform. So when you go on the platform, you will see the price. And in that price, there's a percentage that's taken from the students and a percentage that's taken from the landlord. And that allows us to keep the business running, operations, but also provide all the different services. You know how I mentioned, so how, for example, we help with guaranteeing that the rent is paid on time. How we help with ensuring that the place is well maintained while the student's staying there. The communication between both parties, and just making sure that all have a great experience. And so all the prices the fee is integrated into the price. And what happens on a monthly basis when the student pays the rent, we take our fees out and then we pay the landlord.
I'm a student from Africa and I don't have a lot of money. So I'm looking for the cheapest accommodation. Why should I come to LA? Am I guaranteed a good accommodation, that meets the that meets the standard, and also cheap enough for me to rent? And then I also read you guys accept credit card instead of debit. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
two-way
Two questions.
questions.
Yeah. No worries. Yeah. Yeah, no, I can touch on both questions. So for the first part, why would you go with
Choose
why would you choose a
11,
live,
yeah.
if you're
Over
looking for
looking for it locally, maybe in Rent, Fanstar, or any other platform. Yeah.
yeah. So one thing that we do with Elev is we filter the non-conforming quote unquote listings out. So what I mean by that is on other platforms, like for example, like the Rent Faster and Facebook, anybody can post there.
Yeah.
But on our platform, we actually have like a filtering system so that like when you decide to create an account and list on the platform, there's certain criteria that you need to meet in order for you to like be like an active listing on the platform. And so things that we have discussed with students. We also like have done our own research to see, okay, what's a good property versus not a so good property, or what's a good property, or what's a property that needs some improvement to become a good property.
Okay.
And so those are things that we actually like look for before we actually like have them on the platform. And then the second thing that we do is we actually do go and like see the places to make sure that they actually one exist and they look like the pictures.
So you verify the property.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly. So we verify the properties. We've had like some screening that we do as well to go out and like check out to make sure the property is in good shape.
Existing,
It's
yeah.
existing and everything, because there have been stories like people
Sometimes the
getting
pictures
scammed. Yeah.
they upload is not the same as the one they have at home.
Exactly.
And yeah. That
Exactly.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. Exactly. So we have a verified program that we run on the left to ensure that the properties that we have are up to par. And then when it comes to the pricing, that's something that we negotiate on behalf of the students with the landlord. The reason being is that, well, like for example, as international students that's coming from Africa and you don't even know where to look, you don't have any quote unquote leverage, right? And so what we do is that we actually speak to the landlord on your behalf to like get the best rate, so that like as a student, the price that you see is what you pay with no surprise, surprise at all.
Yep.
And then the second part of your question was, man, I forgot. I forgot the second part. Yeah.
So, but do you still take the first month's deposit and the rent, or is just you pay as you go?
Yeah, first month deposit and the rent. Like, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
you still do the
first
deposit.
semester.
Okay.
Yeah, deposit. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And we do that. And the way we look at it is we're also using that as a way to also educate the students, because through the program, through the LF program that we have in place, we also want to help students become better tenants. And so we actually have like a profile. So as students, before you even apply for a property or anything, you have to create a profile. In that profile, we ask you to provide things that landlords typically look for in an application.
Okay.
So that when you go and apply for a property, you don't have to like scramble to look for, I need to provide this and that. You've already provided that in your profile. The second thing is, one thing, I guess, things that students don't have is like tenant history or, all these different things to show that they're actually good tenants. And so one thing that we're doing, and like something that we're currently like working on behind the scenes, is being able to like, number one, encourage students to pay rent on time, but also make sure they maintain the property. And so we're actually gamifying the process by essentially rewarding the students for paying the rent of time, and also like making sure the place is properly is well maintained. And by doing all these different things, we help them become better tenants. And let's say they decide to like leave Elev and go to a different property. Well, they have like a whole track record that shows that they're a good fit for the new property.
Okay, so let's touch a bit on the hives. Your partnership with Five Oaks and the architect Jenny Dupe, has that helped your business in any way?
Oh yeah. It definitely has helped the business. Now, of course, unfortunately, there are still some work behind the scenes that are being done, and we had some delay with regards to like opening the building. But the partnership has essentially gone to show that we can actually work. The platform can actually work on a bigger scale, because initially with the lab we work directly with like individual landlords or maybe a landlord that has 2 or 3 properties. But with this partnership, we're actually taking over an entire building that has over 120 units in there, and all the different payments and communication, all the different things flow through the platform.
Okay.
And so now we've gone from like the smaller quote unquote scale to like the bigger.
So
higher
you're
level
not a
scale.
real estate manager. That makes sense.
Yeah.
And as founders, we all face one or two issues
Yeah.
while running a business. You can't tell me you've not encountered any.
Oh, every
So
day.
what has been the biggest problem you've had with, let's say, a landlord and a student? What has been the most challenging issues?
Most challenging issues. Well, I think one challenging issue biggest challenging issue that's pretty common that we're seeing is, at least on the landlord side, is like the tech aspect of things, because everything is pretty much like done through the platform. And again, we're a startup, we're still figuring things out as well. And so sometimes there are situations where like there could be some bugs or some things that are not necessarily the most intuitive for the user. And so there have been some times where we had to have sit down with the landlord to walk them through the entire process of how things work so that they can understand how things operate on the platform.
Yeah.
And so like the tech aspect has been a challenge that we face with landlords, but it's actually a good problem because it tells us that, well, the landlords are actually trying to use the platform. They're having a hard time, and it's telling us where the issue is. Okay. It's like, oh, okay, you tried it didn't work for you. Perhaps we need to try something different.
Okay.
So that's on the landlord side. On the student side, I would say probably, yes. I think the biggest issue is availability of houses, like having enough houses having enough listings on the platform.
Yeah.
Because, well, a blessing and a curse, we are able to source great listings, but great listings go out really fast.
Yeah.
So the moment it gets listed, it goes out really fast. Exactly. And so that's one challenge that we're facing. And we're really, really looking for, landlords out there that have either an extra bedroom or an extra apartment or houses that they want to rent out to students. Yeah. Please reach out, because we have like good tenants that are like literally waiting for your property so that they can, rent it out.
Yeah. So I also noticed during my research that you are not just focused on the marketplace. You do repair, you do other things outside just like a normal marketplace. Mm-hmm. Why that? Is that not compounding your issues?
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a very good question. No. So what we do, it's not that we necessarily do the repairs, but we help coordinate. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So we work with the landlords because we don't want to necessarily reinvent the wheel. We essentially want to connect things so that it makes it easier for everyone involved. So the coordination part of things is essentially, let's say you as a landlord, you have a handyman that you work with, that you've been working with for years now, and you also have a property that requires a fixing. Without the service that we provide, the student is left in the dark, and so is the landlord. Left in the dark, what I mean by that is, let's say, for example, a student brings up an issue. Oh, hey, something's broken in the house. Yep. I need some help. They won't really know it's gotten fixed until like the landlord does everything they need to do, and then they fix it, and then like that's what later they let you know. Yeah. But what we do is we coordinate the process in the sense that the student can submit a maintenance request on the platform. The landlord gets notified. They update the status in the sense that, okay, they've connected with the handyman. The person's gonna come and fix the thing, or they have working on it's like a work in progress that they're currently going through. And so all the different steps of the process to address that maintenance request are essentially like shared with the students. Yep. So that they know that, okay, the landlord is working on it and it's something that's going to get fixed. And so like we coordinate that with the landlord, with the students, and on the landlord side, we also help connect with the handyman. So that like if there's ever an issue or anything that needs to be addressed, the landlord can easily do that with the handyman. And so things like the whole flow of getting that maintenance request addressed is essentially coordinated through the platform.
Oh, okay, great. And do you think Canadian ecosystem, they help businesses like yours to thrive, or do you think there are still things they need to do to support you guys better?
Oh yeah, no, for me, maybe it's just the way I see things. I am someone that if I know that it takes 100 no's to get to that one yes, I'll keep going until I get to the yes. Okay. And it gets to a point where if this opportunity didn't work out, well, what's the next one? And then just like focusing until I get to the next one. And so for me, the way I've seen things is, well, we have tried different opportunities, different avenues. And most of them have been pretty supportive of what we're doing. I guess the one challenge that I faced is because is that I was an international student. Okay. And so there are certain grants that you may not be able to, you may not qualify for if you're not either Canadian or a PR.
Yep.
And so that has been the challenge. But luckily we have one of our co-founder.
yeah.
He's a Canadian,
Oh.
so that helped us.
So he's backing you guys
Backing
in
us,
that
guys,
area.
exactly, yeah. But yeah, no,
That's
overall,
very smart. You
yeah.
know?
Thank you. But overall, like the ecosystem, at least in Edmonton, if I can speak for, has been super supportive. Like very supportive, whether it be Edmonton Unlimited, Alberta Innovate, even like Platform Calgary. Calgary, like all these different organizations have actually been like rooting for us.
Oh,
And
great.
So, like for me, it's if we ever hit a roadblock, it's just a matter of like reaching out to someone in those organizations and be like, hey, we're stuck with this. Can you help us?
All right.
They could either help us right away or they can connect us to someone that'll help us.
So you have the right connections. We should all come to you. Where we are looking for such connections. Good to know.
Yeah, I know some people here and there.
Okay. So you are currently in Edmonton only, right?
Yes. So like the main operations are largely in Edmonton. But we do have some operations happening out of Calgary, in Ontario, and we're currently looking at Vancouver. But the main focus is in Edmonton.
That's the big shot, right?
Yep.
So the bigger vision is to expand to other cities.
Yes. The vision is to expand to other cities. To me, at least personally, the vision is to expand across the world. Elev is across the world because, again, international students, I was looking for housing while I was back home. And, with the visa process, it's funny. Before you apply for the visa, you have to have a place to stay.
Oh, really?
But before you have a place to stay, you need to have the visa. It's like a catch. It's a catch 35.
And if you don't have anyone to address to you, that means you're stranded.
Exactly, right? So being able to help all these international students, have that peace of mind before they even get to Canada, to know that, when I come, I have a place to stay. Yeah. So the vision is across the world.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
I had the last founder that came. They said they wanted to know from the next founder what, knowing what you know now, what advice will you give your younger self when you were starting off the business?
Oh, yeah. I would say to stop overthinking things. Okay. I think for me, before I would take an action, I would need to analyze all the potential risks and challenges and opportunities that would come with it, and it's good. It helps you, prevent potential issues in the future, but it slows you down. And in startup, at least in the startup phase, there are a lot of moving pieces and things are moving fast. And so just being able to understand that you may not have all the answers right away, but go out, give it a shot, learn, and just keep going. In the entrepreneur world, we say fail fast but fail forward.
Yeah.
Exactly. So just go out there. I don't have all the answers, but eventually I'll figure it out.
Because when you fail, you learn.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. So what question do you want me to ask the next founder without you knowing who they are that you want to get them to answer?
The question I want to ask the next founder is, how do you manage the pressures and the responsibilities that come with running the business while also staying focused on the vision?
How do you manage the pressures and responsibilities while still staying focused? Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, now you came through Atadel. It was actually Temi from Atadel that gave you the spotlight, recommended that you're doing a great job, that you need a platform just like this to kind of speak into what you're doing. So can you give a spotlight to another founder that you think is doing something great, that is worthy of this platform?
Good question. Actually, let me think about it.
What haven't I asked you that you want people to know about Elev? That you want to speak into? Is there anything I haven't asked that you want to talk about your company? Yeah.
I think one thing I really want to stress for Elev is the community, the community of students that we are building, especially starting for those that are living off campus. because it can be lonely. You know what's funny? I have a friend who told me that one of the people that he knew had gone 4 years without making a single friend in university.
How is that possible?
Because all they did, yeah, like they went 4 years, and the reason why was because the only quote unquote connection that they made were with the people that were in their classes, and basically mainly just like for like the projects and the labs and everything.
Yeah.
And the person was also an introvert and very shy, and so they would just go to university, study, do what needs to be done, and then go home.
Okay.
No social interaction.
Yeah.
And that to me is one of the biggest, I mean, it's really sad. That's number one, but also like a big loss to like what university provides, because university is not just about getting a degree. It's also about the connections that you're building while going to university. Because today you might sit in a math class with someone that's doing a major in economics, or a major in economics or a major in finance, and tomorrow there might be the the finance advisor that's going to help you unlock the next grant for your business.
Yeah.
Or there could be, someone studying law, and next thing you know, there could be a lawyer tomorrow in helping you in like a different situation. So like you build those key connections, and those connections happen through university. And so if you're not able to like do that while you're going to university, you definitely will be missing out a lot. And so that's something that we're really looking to do at Elev, is being able to like help students connect with other students, because you never know. Like you might find someone that's doing something that interests you, or someone that's doing something that's similar to what you're doing. You can help each other, because the going will get tough, and you definitely don't want to be alone, going through that process. And so really focusing on like the community, the student community that we're looking to build, and helping students, leverage other opportunities, be able to leverage different resources that are out there for them. And that all starts for us with housing.
Okay. Good to know. Give the spotlight.
The spotlight. Well, one founder that I think would be worthy would be Yvan Toucault. He is the founder of La Connexionale. And La Connexionale is pretty much Yvan, I'm sorry, please. I know what La Connexionale is, but please, just be patient with me. La Connexionale is pretty much a social enterprise that's essentially bringing the Afro-Latino culture through different events, through different events here in Edmonton, and pretty much like across Canada. And he has been working on it for some time now. And when you look at where the Afro-Latino scene in Edmonton was, the Afro-Latino scene was in Edmonton 5 years ago, and now it's been like a big change. And he was like one of the pioneers behind it. And so definitely think that someone that you want to have on the podcast. Very dynamic guy, fun guy. And definitely think that's a good opportunity.
So invite him.
So Yvan, when you see this, please come and share your story. I think this is a great place for you to be on the put La Connexionale out there, and be more, just put yourself out there. La Connexionale.
Reach out to you by Instagram. John Blues, it's such a pleasure speaking with you. But before we wrap up, we have something special for you right now. So we partnered with Tribe City Studio. Is a company that they are into merch. They kind of do branded stuff for companies. So they help us put something together for the guest. And so this is yours.
Oh, wow. Thank you.
They've got a promotion running now. Just show the camera.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
So they kind of branded it.
And
the t-shirt I'm wearing too. I don't know if they can see it. They kind of branded it as well.
Oh, yeah.
So from Tribe City Studio. Nice. So they have a promotion running now for founders. Please definitely check them out. And tell them you're coming from Founders Outlook. Okay, sounds good. Definitely will. Thank you so much.
Thank you so
much for coming.
Of course.
Thank you guys for sticking around, and keep streaming on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the streaming platforms, and YouTube. See you on the next one. Bye.
Bye, everyone.